Hello, hello, my beautiful friends. So today I am on a spiritual rant. I might start crying, maybe, maybe not, but I'm feeling really emotional about quite a few things. I want to talk about soul loss. Now, we've talked about soul hunger. Yes, soul hunger, soul loss. What is it, and why is it at an epidemic rate right now? So, soul loss is when parts of you get left in traumatic events that happened in your past. Now, we can be really metaphysical and say even in past lives and in your genealogical line, but there are parts of you that are left in different aspects. So I'm going to draw this for you because there is a bigger part of you here, and you're here. You and I are here. You're the personality. You and I are a point of focus for spiritual energy. Yes? Yes. And so here's the personality. And from a metaphysical level, you want to look at yourself from layers, okay? There are layers to you. Now, this is really important. I want you to stick with me here. So the bigger part of you back here, the bigger part of you, let me do this with the camera. The bigger part of you is the self. It is the part of you that is untouched, unmarred, perfect, whole, and complete. That is the bigger part of you. And you and I have access to it, okay? So whatever trauma has happened in your life, if you were molested as a child, if you suffered physical abuse, any kind of abuses that you've had, there is a part of you that is untouched by that is perfect. And you have to know that about yourself, and we have to know it about other people. But how do we get access? So in between you as the personality here and the bigger part of yourself, I'm going to call this soul right here, this second part. The soul is the mediator between the bigger part of you and the personal part of you, okay? And so when trauma happens, parts of yourself, of soul, get left in the trauma. That's what happens. Now, I'm going to scare you a little bit, okay? I'm going to warn you that when parts of the soul get left, the universe abhors a void. That's one of the ways in which we can look at it. So if you've had all this trauma and then you're immersed in negativity, the negativity then attaches to those places where there's been soul loss. Do you understand? And so a whole person, a conscious person, is someone, because we all have some soul loss and some of us have it more than others. So a whole person is someone where their soul and the bigger part of themselves shines through the personality, and the personality is functioning, the personality is whole, there's this vibrancy, there's this energy, okay? This is very important because I'm going to give you some resources today. One book that talks about this beautifully is Seat of the Soul by Gary Zukov. It's like 25 years old, but he talks about the personality, how the personality can come into alignment. That's one way. And I'm talking about this because we have had so many tragedies around the world and in our beautiful, beautiful country, our beautiful United States. Synagogues, nightclubs, yoga studios, schools. The people that are committing these crimes, because that's what they are, they're crimes against, humanity. I'm not going to pretend, I'm not going to be all spiritual over here and say, oh, well, it's just God's will. No, it's not. God's will for you is that you and I have life and that we have it in abundance. And so we are soul family, and we're not letting anybody off the hook. It is now time for you to realize who you are, whose you are, and step into your power. The world cannot wait any longer. And so we have the people that are committing these crimes have significant soul loss. Someone who is aligned with their soul, aligned with their higher self, the bigger part of them, doesn't even occur to them to go in and to wound other people. So the young man that went into the nightclub last night and shot up all our beautiful children, our brothers and sisters, had PTSD. So many of our military brothers and sisters and others, when they go and do their duty for their country, they have soul loss. Many of them do. And then there's no way to integrate them back into the society because we don't have a language in the West that talks about this. We talk about therapy, we talk about prayer, but we're not talking about the anatomy of the person beyond the physical form and talking about the soul. And so what you and I need to do is to acknowledge that this is happening, because acknowledgement is the first step to healing. If I have cancer, I can't cure it if I don't know that I have it. So we need to acknowledge it. And oftentimes when you talk to people about, well, maybe there's some soul loss, there's a part of you that's left there. It's interesting because even if they don't have a definition for it, they feel it and they say yes to it. Yeah. So that is the first step. And Spirit's speaking to me right now. Oftentimes, just with the acknowledgement that there's a part left, the part begins to come back. Without the acknowledgement, the part can't come back. So things begin to start to coalesce. You are a very powerful, powerful being. You have the whole universe in back of you. You have the whole universe in back of you. If you know that there's some significant soul loss, my recommendation, don't watch anything negative. Don't put yourself in negative situations so that you get more attachments to where pieces of you have been left behind, and acknowledge it. The other thing is desire. You have to have a desire for it to come back, right? Your desire is powerful. The whole universe is moving with your desire. The other thing is community. We are increasingly isolated. I have family dinners almost every night. Mark and I are always eating together. My dad comes over, my kids, my other daughter's at college. We have family dinners, we have community. We had a big family dinner last night, and that is unusual nowadays, and it shouldn't be. So find community. I'm not going to be nice about this. Get out of your home and find a community with which to connect, because your soul family. Find a community that feels right to you, that leans on the positive side of life, that is going to help you with the development of your soul, of your spirit. It can be a church, it can be a synagogue, it can be a painting group. Creativity is vital. And find a creative healer. Go to a therapist, go to your pastor, but make sure they're using creative means, because creativity is the language of the soul. Yes, we're using images. We're not just talking about things, but we're working on this whole anatomy of the person. And here's the other thing. You got to start dreaming again. If you don't remember your dreams, get a journal. And in the morning, you're going to wake up. See, I'm on a rant now. You're going to wake up and you're going to write down your first impressions. Dreaming, soul recovery can happen spontaneously in the dream state. Now, Spirit's speaking to me right now and saying some of us are having nightmares and we're afraid to dream. And I understand that. You might want to get somebody to kind of help you through that. And I'm going to give you another resource. Robert Moss, M-O-S-S. He's written tons of books on dreaming, shamanism, and soul recovery. So there's different resources for you. There might even be a shamanic practitioner in your community. Creative healing is what I'm talking about. Yes. So these are the things that we need in our community, and Spirit's speaking to me right now. We need to begin the conversation of talking beyond just mental health and talking about the health of the soul, the health of the soul, the health of the community, and knowing that our friends, our brothers, our sisters, and I'm talking about our heart brothers, our heart sisters that have suffered this tragedy, yes, that we are knowing right here and right now that the trauma for them stops. Yes, we are knowing that. We are seeing them whole. We are seeing them perfect. We are seeing them as complete, not as victims of a tragedy. Because if we see them as victims, Yes, if we see them just as victims of a tragedy, we're not helping them with the healing. What you and I know is very important. And so we see them as whole, we see them as complete, we see them as whole and complete beyond the pain that they are suffering. And we are seeing that their wholeness and their completeness is moving into their family, because the families are also traumatized. They're suffering from some trauma. So we have to see that blanket of light, the bigger part of themselves that was not injured, coming forward. We have to hold that truth, we have to hold that truth in our minds. Yes? I know. I am passionate about this. I love this beautiful world. It's so beautiful, and there's so much light and life and energy here for you. The earth gives us food to eat and water to cleanse ourselves. We are living in an abundant universe. We are living in an abundant universe. And so we have to be on the side of abundance when there is trauma, when there is tragedy, when these things happen. We have to hold that energy and hold that vibration. Yes? Yes. That's my spiritual rant for today and for always. I am praying for you. I am praying for our country. I am praying for the world. And I know you are too. Find a community, and let's start dreaming again. Start having big dreams. Let's start the soul recovery process. Yes. And move the negativity out. Move the negativity out. We need an exorcism, people. We need an exorcism, and I'm not joking. We need to exorcise all of that darkness out so that we can be in the light and we can be in our truth. Yes? Yes! I know. All right, my friends, that is my message for today. I gotta go. I'm late for an appointment, but it was totally worth it because I am knowing that we are healing, and I am knowing, sending light and love to everyone on this plane, and I know you are too. We're sending light and love to our friends in Thousand Oaks, just sending them so much light, so much love, knowing that the peace that passes all understanding is right where they are. All right. Namaste. Bye. I'll see you tomorrow.